Once upon a time, in a quiet little village surrounded by rolling hills and golden fields, there lived a humble farmer. He owned many animals, but among them was a donkey that had served him faithfully for many years. This donkey was once the strongest worker on the farm, carrying heavy loads, plowing fields, and walking miles without complaint. But time spares no one. The donkey had grown old, his back bent, his steps slow, and his strength fading. Though he was no longer useful for work, the farmer, remembering his years of loyalty, allowed him to wander freely and spend his days grazing under the warm sun. One bright morning, the old donkey trotted lazily across a meadow, nibbling on patches of fresh green grass. The birds sang, the wind was gentle, and all seemed peaceful, until suddenly his hoof slipped on loose soil. With a startled cry, the donkey tumbled forward and fell, straight into a deep, narrow well hidden in the ground. The donkey's terrified brays echoed through the village. He was trapped, unable to climb out, and his cries grew louder with every passing moment. Hours later, a villager passing by heard the desperate sound. Curious, he approached and looked down into the well. His eyes widened in shock when he saw the donkey at the bottom, struggling helplessly. Without hesitation, he ran to the farmer's house. "Your donkey has fallen into a well," he shouted. Alarmed, the farmer gathered his neighbors, and together they hurried to the spot. Peering into the darkness, they saw the poor animal trembling with fear, his eyes filled with tears. They tried rope, they tried pulling, they tried every method they could think of, but nothing worked. The well was too deep, the donkey too heavy, and their strength too little. Finally, the farmer's face fell. With a heavy heart, he whispered, "He is too old, and there is no way to save him. Perhaps this is Allah's way of telling me it's time to let him go." Turning to the others, he said, "We will fill the well with soil. It is better to bury him quickly than let him suffer." The villagers hesitated, but the farmer was firm. One by one, they began shoveling dirt into the well. At first, the donkey panicked. Dirt rained down on his back, and he realized what was happening. His cries grew louder, echoing with fear and betrayal. His master, whom he had served faithfully, had given up on him. But then, something remarkable happened. With every shovel of dirt that landed on him, the donkey shook it off. Instead of letting it bury him, he stepped on it. Again and again, he shook the soil from his back and pressed it beneath his hoofs, rising just a little higher each time. The villagers kept shoveling, but soon they noticed the donkey had gone silent. Curious, the farmer looked into the well, and his jaw dropped. There, instead of lying buried, the donkey was climbing. Step by step, he rose higher, using the very dirt meant to bury him as a ladder to freedom. Finally, with one last effort, the donkey climbed over the edge and leapt out. The villagers gasped, astonished. The old donkey shook the dust from his coat, lifted his head proudly, and trotted off into the fields, free, alive, and stronger than before. The farmer stood frozen, shame washing over him. He realized that the donkey had shown more courage and wisdom than any of them. He had turned hardship into opportunity and despair into triumph. The moral? Life will often throw dirt on you, problems, failures, betrayals. You can either let them bury you, or you can shake them off and step on them, rising higher with every challenge. Never let others decide your worth. Even when people give up on you, believe in yourself. With patience, resilience, and determination, you can climb out of the deepest wells and walk into the light again.